Senator Hawley.
Thank you very much. I think the last few weeks have made something very clear that has always been true in American history, and that is monopoly and liberty do not go together. Monopoly is the enemy of the people's freedom. That's certainly true of Major League Baseball. It's true of big tech. It's true of the monopolies that we see more and more across our economy. When you have concentrations of economic power, political power follows. Now, we've seen this before in American history. I mean, this is not unfamiliar to us. A century ago, massive corporations, the railroads, U.S. Steel attempted to amass economic power and succeeded. They attempted to amass political power and for a time succeeded. And we know what the solution to that is. The solution is you break them up. The solution is trust busting. And that's exactly what needs to occur today. This is about preserving the ability of the democratic process to go forward. The fact that Major League Baseball would get together and try to punish a state because the elected representatives of that state and the elected governor of that state settled on a law to preserve election integrity is unbelievable. But of course, Major League Baseball is not the only one. We had news just this past weekend that 100 CEOs of the largest corporations in the world met together to talk about how they are going to launch some sort of plan to influence other states across the country. This is exactly what the railroad barons tried to do a century ago. It's exactly the same thing. It's trying to control the democratic process. It's trying to leverage economic power to exert political influence. It's trying to push forward a particular political and ideological agenda. And the answer to this now is the same as the answer a century ago. You got to break them up. So it's time for a new round of trust busting in the United States. Major League Baseball is a great place to start. This is why I support Senator Lee's legislation, proud to join him and Senator Cruz on it. It's time that we sent a clear signal that, first of all, there shouldn't be these dramatic carve-outs in our antitrust laws, like the one the Supreme Court made up for Major League Baseball. And it's also time that we sent the signal that no corporation is above the law, that no corporation should be able to be a power and a state unto itself, whether we're talking about Major League Baseball or whether we're talking about big tech or big pharma or big banks. All of these corporations exist to serve our democracy, the people of the United States, and ultimately competition, free, open competition, is the guarantor of liberty. It's what protects the people's liberty. It's what protects our democratic process. And we've got to act now to ensure that there is that free, robust competition again in all sectors of our economy. And Major League Baseball is a great place to start. I'm delighted to join this legislation.
Questions?
I have a question on a slightly unrelated matter. This week, Leader Schumer said he expects to bring forward Senator Bruno's anti-Asian American hate bill. Do you all anticipate supporting that even now as we're starting to hear that Senator Moran's bill may also, or come as an amendment to it?
I look forward to the support from all of our Democratic colleagues for our bill getting rid of the unfair antitrust exemption enjoyed by Major League Baseball. Look, when they acted this way, when they made this announcement about the All-Star game, my immediate thought was this is the behavior of a monopolist. When a monopolist behaves in certain ways, you start to ask questions. And when we see anti-competitive behaviors of one sort or another, when you see one actor dominating a particular field in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable, when you look at some of the actions of companies in the tech sector, for example, like Apple and Facebook and Google, when you look at that, sometimes you ask yourself the question, why? Why are they doing this? Why would they insult half of their customer base? Why would they alienate this or that entity with whom they've contracted? Very often, when we're dealing with an antitrust issue, the answer lies in monopoly status. Very often, it exists in the fact that if you can get away with something, if you can maintain monopolistic control over an industry, then that empowers you to do that. It makes you feel emboldened because you lack competition. That's exactly what happened here. And that's why the first question I asked myself is, why would they do this? Why would they enter into the contract with the city of Atlanta? Why would they decide to do that and alienate that many of their viewers? They lack competition. And they've enjoyed that lack of competition for 99 years due to a judicial mistake. But it's a judicial mistake we can correct, and we intend to do so.